Oh god, we had bin juice on our last chat, and now we've got juices flowing
My juices are flowing too, Tim.
on that bombshell. The money matches begin in the Champions Cup. It's a round of 16. There are 6 French clubs that have made it to this stage. How many are going to make it to the quarter-final, semi, and maybe the ultimate, the Holy Grail, which Toulouse have won 6 times, and they are favourites to bag themselves a 7th. Joe Worsley in the sunshine of Brive. Is it Brive-le-Gaillard? How do you say the town properly?
The Gaia, well,
La
it's quite a
Gaillard.
difficult one, that one.
Nice. Joe, a little bit sore from chopping down trees, but he's taking the time to sit out in the sunshine and have a chat with us.
Actually,
And talking
Lumberjack.
Champions Cup.
Lumberjack was a nickname, wasn't it? Chop tackling.
Well, when you're a player, yeah, good shout. It's your natural habitat. Right, let's talk about these
Massive
fixtures
chopper.
then. I think we've got a slight delay here, so you're landing some great lines, and I'm just chatting all over
a
you.
massive chopper randomly coming at the
Right, I'm just going to crack on. Right, first, Joe, I tell you what I want to understand. When we look at the fixtures in the Champions Cup with those 6 French teams, the different approaches that different clubs are going to be taking.
Yeah.
We know what Toulouse and Toulon and Bordeaux, people that have heritage in this competition, La Rochelle as well, we can come on to. But I'm quite interested in what you think the approach of Clermont and Castres is going to be, particularly Clermont going away to Saints and not doing that well in the top 14.
Yeah, I think Clermont are at a moment where there could be a regime change coming at the end of the season. So they're not going to be targeting that game at all. But Northampton aren't exactly flying, are they? So that game's a weird one, isn't it? That's a weird one. You've ended up with this match between a team that's third bottom in the Premiership and a team that's not fighting for a relegation battle yet, but not far off in the top 14. So it's probably the least exciting of all the games. And honestly, I'm not sure what kind of team Clermont will take. I think they have no hopes of winning this competition. They just want to make sure they win their next couple of games, home games especially, and stay up in the top 14.
Interesting. So there's no chance that if you were a coach that was under pressure and you thought your job might be on the line, that you'd try and deliver a cup run to try and save yourself?
If you had a squad of 35 players and a load of academy guys, 40 players say, they're all fit, and you've got a really good quality squad, then you could put a good team into the this match. However, Clermont, they've got quite a few injuries. They've not probably got that squad at the moment that's going to enable them to play enough players, good quality players in this match that have had exposure all season to put on a really good performance. But then again, they're playing a team that's not playing that well either, and they got powerful players, so they could win that game if they do go for it. But it's really, if I was the Clermont coach, this would be a distraction from staying in the top 14.
Interesting. I'm sort of wondering. I think you're probably right. I guess the one argument against that would be you can roll the dice, have a go, and if you lose, you get a week off next week anyway to prepare for the top 14. And if you win, you can then make a call on how many players you want to rest, or do you want to go for a semi-final? Because the team that faces them next is the winner of Castres against Benetton. So there's a chance that Clermont might look at that and think both those games are winnable, although they would both be away from home.
Yeah, but again, this is where we come back to the squad and how many players are fit and the quality. So if players have had a lot of exposure to rugby, they've been rolling out their first team week after week after week, then you would be really reluctant about putting those players out yet again. Because if they possibly win that game, they win the next one, they roll into another 2 fixtures. Those 2 fixtures being key to their aspirations to stay in the top 14, that's where you're going to have a problem. So if everybody's fit and they've been moving and rotating players with a plan in place over the last couple of months, then great. But honestly, Clermont have been fighting to win games. They've had a few injuries. There would have been no plan. Like Toulouse put a plan in place and they got a rough idea, injury to point aside, about what they're going to do, who they're going to rotate. They've had foresight. They looked down the whole season at this. Clermont probably are not in that position at the moment to do it.
And I've just mentioned Castres at home to Benetton. That's an interesting one as well, because in terms of squad, they don't have the depth of resources, but they love playing at home.
I think they'll go for it. They'll go for this because they've won the league a few times. This is a chance to do something in Europe they've not done before, and I think they're squad-wise. they actually recruited really well over the last couple of years. Their squad's relatively deep. I think injury-wise is not too bad at the moment, but they're a team who could, and they have rotated their players as well. They could have a stab at it, provided nothing happens. They're safe as well. They're fighting for the playoffs. They're not really in any trouble relegation-wise.
The team that is maybe better, and the fixture that's probably most fascinating out of the whole weekend, La Rochelle against Munster, the O'Gara factor. Some people in Ireland call they call La Rochelle Yellow Munster. La Rochelle could get dragged into a relegation battle, but they've won this competition 2 times before under O'Gara. Man, this is dynamite, this match.
The narrative behind it's amazing, isn't it? But La Rochelle really, again, they are fighting in a dogfight as well for staying up. But Ronan, will he want to put out a good performance against his old team? I bet he will. He'd want to keep it going, keep playing well.
L'opportunité, c'est énorme.
Exactly. Couldn't put it better. But we're coming back to that scenario of getting relegated. That is the thing that will drive you more than anything to sacrifice a European game, to play well in Europe. So to play well in Europe and then get relegated would be just a nightmare. So honestly, to get relegated from the top 14, your budget would get probably third for La Rochelle, go down by a third instantly. It's just a huge knock on the club. Sponsors would pull out. You have to come back up again. It's massive. It's massive. Could you imagine that?
At home in this competition, they cannot even contemplate. Like O'Gara cannot contemplate not going as strong as they possibly can. You're going to see all of the big guns for La Rochelle this weekend, and they're going to be desperate to win.
But then again, I mean, if they are playing badly, maybe they could play their way into form, get a couple more games under the belt. But again, if they roll out their best players over a period of time, we'll see.
And unfortunately for the teams that are going there, the top 3 sides in France, it looks on paper like it's going to be a bit of a procession through to the through to the quarterfinals for Toulon against probably quite a weakened Saracen side, Bordeaux against Ulster, who just don't have the power to match up, and Toulouse playing against Sale.
Yeah, I think some of the French teams have predicted this. They rested a couple of guys in the last round. Bordeaux went up, they put everyone on the park against Racing. They lost the game, incredible match, but they lost it. Jalibert was playing, but he hasn't played much rugby over the Six Nations. I mean, some of the guys involved with France, like Bielberry, I'd be surprised if he plays. I'd give him a break if I were them. I know he's young, but I think Bordeaux will rest a few players for that one. Toulouse,
really? Like that's a bit of a flex. That's a bit of a flex, or maybe that speaks to the seeding system, or the fact there are too many teams in, or maybe the round of 16 just needs to go. If you're resting Louis Bielberry for a Champions Cup knockout game, I think that would tell you everything about what you need to do with this competition. Get rid of this round of 16.
Yeah, man, it does speak volumes, doesn't it? But he's played every Six Nations game pretty much, which is so intense. You come out of that, even at a young age, you're tired. He's played, I think, both league games since. To go straight into this and then roll on to an even bigger game the week after, you'd be asking for an injury. Luku, they rested last week. He could play, and a couple of others they rested, like Deporter and stuff. So I think they rested guys last week, planning to play them this week. So the team's going to be not weak. It's just going to be missing a couple of stars.
Bordeaux's the interesting one for me in terms of the mentality, because Toulon have won Brennus. They've won the Champions Cup obviously 3 times in the past. Toulouse the same. Bordeaux have come close in both competitions in recent years. Where, if they could pick one to win, which one would they pick?
Honestly, I think the top 14 would be the one. But the club's incredibly ambitious. It's grown exponentially in the last 10 years. It's becoming a big club, and the European Cup is well within their aspirations now. They've got a great squad, good backing, solid base. I think they've only got 3 injuries, severe injuries. They could have a run at this. The way they play, the quality of players they got in first choice, second choice, they could have a run at it for sure.
That semi-final, we're on a collision course potentially between Bordeaux and Toulouse. Or Toulon, because you can't rule out Toulon. Toulouse in the next round is at the Stade Mayol. Who knows? All bets are off, but especially without Dupont. But there's two of those three big French clubs are going to meet in a semi-final. You would feel. Juice is already flowing for that one.
My juices are flowing too, Tim.
On that bombshell. Oh god, we had bin juice on our last chat, and now we've got juices flowing. Well, you're moist if nothing else watching FI UK Rugby, so hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.